Hey, thank you for watching my videos. Right now we are doing the tutorial for the burlap door hanger with flocked HTV from the March Silhouette Life Inspiration Box. If you haven't heard of this box, definitely check it out. It is the best box to help you use your silhouette cameo in a lot of different ways, learn a lot of different functions of it, use different materials. It's amazing. So the materials you'll need from this month's box are the roll of burlap or burlap ribbon, whatever size you'd like. The 12 by 18 burlap that we have. You'll need the flocked white HTV and the patterned HTV, the mint rosette pattern. You'll need the 2 dowel rod caps and the 2 dowels. And then from your own stash, you'll need an adhesive, so I'm choosing a glue gun. And then you'll need a pair of scissors. So that's everything you're going to need for this project. Let's open up our studio and we'll design our cut file.
Once you have the tutorial pulled up here in the design studio, you need to get your file. So I'm going to click SVG format, then I'm going to click download. It's okay if it's not showing you a preview. Then I'm going to drag the design over to my studio. And now I've got this, and what I'm going to do is I am going to ungroup it. So we're going to go back up here so you can see kind of what the plan is with the tutorial. So you go Object, Ungroup. This will let me pull off the pattern for right now. Next step is to change my name. So I'm going to ungroup this design again, and I need a 6.154, 1.550 of Paris because I can't edit that name. So I'm going to do all caps Paris. I'm going to change my font first. I think I want Noteworthy. Maybe I want Noteworthy Light. Let's see. That one may not be pulling in here. Okay, so Noteworthy. So I'm going to do that, and then I want 6.154, so I'm going to go to Transform, Scale, 6.154, 1.550, and I'm just going to make sure that's right, 1.550, 6.154. I can delete her name now, and I'm going to put my name inside it. And with my font being a little bit different, I'm going to make the width a little bit taller, 1.7, and I'm going to do 1.9. Let's do 2. All right, so I'm going to do that. I think I like that the best. Okay, so now that that's ready, we have our page set up with the 12 by 7, which is the size of our HTV. So then we're going to mirror this. So I'm going to group it again so I don't forget to do anything with it. So group, object, mirror, flip horizontally. Then we needed to get it to fit on this page setting that we have. So back to the transform, rotate 90 degrees. So see how now we have this perfectly on our mat. That looks great. We're going to show cut border so you can see exactly where it's going to be cutting. I'm going to zoom out so you can see my studio a little bit better. So it looks like we're going to be right on the border, but that's okay. So then we're going to go to send. And we need to make sure all of this is cutting. So cut, there we go. Now everything is set to cut, which is exactly how we want it. Then we're going to do heat transfer flocked. And we're going to use the default settings. So do a test cut if you've never used this before, but this is exactly how you should be doing this part. I'm going to play with my design just a little bit, see if I can get it to fit just a little bit nicer. Okay, so that's good there. So now when I go to send, it fits just a little bit better inside these lines. We should be fine. Okay. So then we're going to repeat the process with the mint rosette. So to make it easier for you guys to understand, I'm going to Command X, do a new page, Command V. That way now it's on this page. Same sizing, everything's fine. So we do need to mirror it. So object, mirror, flip horizontally. Then you're going to go to transform, rotate 90 degrees. That looks great. My cut settings are a little weird because it didn't have a cutting mat, so now I have one. And then we're just going to slide it right up onto this page, exactly like how we did the other ones. Send, but this time we're going to do heat transfer smooth. Make sure you're set to cut, so it shows that you're going to cut it. And use the default settings for this one as well. So now you have both of the pages you need set up. So you'll just click send on both of those with the appropriate material, and then we'll show you how to put it together.
Okay, so we are ready to cut the flocked pattern, the rosette. So it's upside down. So I have the white side up on my mat. I'm going to load it in and click load cutting mat. And the settings we have are heat transfer smooth 284. So I'm going to switch this back to 2. And then we're going to click send and let the bunny cut out. Okay, now we're ready to cut our white flocked HTV. She talked about how she had a hard time getting it to stick to her mat, and so did I. So I'm testing out the painter's tape theory as well. So just tape the sides and then load it into your cut mat. Make sure you press it down so it doesn't get like stuck. Just at the top. I didn't get the top very well. And then in your studio, we have it on heat transfer flocked. So make sure your blade is at 3. So I'm switching my blade over. 3, 5, 33, and 1. So now I'm going to send this, and I'm probably going to have to hold it and just watch it and make sure it doesn't like come off fully while it's cutting. But then we'll be ready to put it all together. Okay, we are ready to weed this beautiful patterned HTV. I'm going to see, I don't think I can save any part of this. That's okay. Okay, so just start at a corner and pick up part of it. And then gently peel back because you don't want to rip any of it. So I'm just going to wait till I get to a section that I know is cut. Okay, so it weeds pretty nice. But just be careful. You may want to cut it so you're not weeding all of it at once. And then we'll weed this out, and then we are going to also weed at the same time the white flocked HTV. Let's see how this stuff weeds. This one's going to be a little bit thicker and harder to pull off just because it is so thick. So you may have to really go in pieces for this. And it's kind of like, oh, it's really tough. But, oh, perfect. Once you get to your design, it does come up nice. So I'm definitely going to have to do this one by pieces. So let's weed these out, and then we'll be ready to move on to the next part. Okay, so I have the bunny laid out, the pattern design on your burlap with my heat press heated up. We're just going to tack this for 1 to 3 seconds, and then we're going to let it cool, peel off this, and then we're going to line up the flocked HTV on top of it. So go ahead and press, cool, peel off this part, and then we will do the flocked HTV together. Make sure you use a Teflon sheet or something to protect it, and then we will do the next part. Okay, so now I took off the carrier sheet. I had to do mine a little bit longer, probably 9 seconds, before I felt comfortable that it was going to be good to peel off without peeling the pattern. So now we are going to line up this flocked HTV right on these edges of the bunny. And then just make sure it all looks good where you want it. Be careful, don't touch the hot part of your press. And then very carefully lay this down. I always like to press on it to make sure everything is still lined up the way that I want it. And then we're going to press it for the full time this time. So that's going to be, I think, 15 to 20 seconds. Is what we're looking at. Yep, 15 to 20 seconds. So go ahead and make sure you press it for that full time. Let it cool completely and then peel up, and then we will put it on the dowels and do the hanger part of it. Okay, so now, as you can see, we have the bunny pressed on our burlap, and you'll need your hot glue gun going, the dowel end caps, and the 2 dowels. So you can stain these. Some people have talked about it. I'm not sure yet what I want to do with this project. With means of like the ribbon at the top and these, and so I'm going to do it so that I can play with them later, if that makes sense. So you're going to go ahead and put these end caps on the dowel rod, and I'm having a hard time getting them to fit, but that could just be me. Oh my gosh, you guys. I thought this was going to be, okay, there we go. Just required some finagling. So, she talked about in the tutorial, the burlap is too long for these. So, what you're going to do is just find an end and just unravel some. I guess you could also cut it. I'm not. It looks kind of, I like it better with the look of unraveling it so that it fits. And I'm going to unravel probably, I don't know, 4 from each side, I think. And again, I'm just picking them and peeling up. So, I'm going to do these, and then I'm going to test the dowel, see if that fits better. I think I need to do a few more, so maybe 6 total strings I'm undoing on each side. See if that helps. Okay, maybe do the strings one at a time. I was getting ahead of myself. There we go. Ah. Okay. And this is kind of your personal preference. If you just want to cut it and you don't want these frays, then cut it. Do it. That is all the way up to you. Like, I don't like that mine is fraying at the top too, so I'm peeling up whichever ones were fraying the worst at the top. And at the bottom. I have a love-hate relationship with burlap because I like the look of it, but I hate the functionality of it. It just drives me nuts. Okay, so I'm just trying to peel this last string off the bottom. Okay, there we go. So now I'm going to test it again with this and see if it fits better, which it does fit better. So I'm going to stick with that because then it's nicely folded around these things. I think I'm going to paint them. I just don't know quite yet. So what I'm going to do so that I have time to worry about that later is I'm going to start this at the top and I'm going to roll it, but I'm going to glue it without touching the glue to the dowel rod, if that makes sense. So how I'm going to do that is I have my hot glue gun. Let's see if it's hot enough. Whoop. Yep, glue on my table. That's okay. And I'm going to take some glue just along the top. And then I'm going to be very careful with what it touches and just roll over until I can just barely glue it. Oh, and you want it to be even. So if you already know what you want to do it before you mess with this part so you don't have to worry about it. But I don't know what I want to do, and I want to think about it, but I didn't want to wait to give you guys the tutorial. So basically it's going to look like this, and then what we're going to be able to do is just peel off the dowel. If I can get the end caps off. Or just one, I guess. So I'm going to peel that out. Oh, and I got a little bit of glue on it, but that's okay. And now I have the right loop for the dowel to fit. So I'm going to just finish tightening up some of the glue. And don't try to like move it up anymore or like create a burn myself. What was I saying? Oh, don't try to like mess with where your holes are for this because then your dowel won't fit back in and that would really stink. So I'm just kind of gluing to finish these holes and make sure the burlap doesn't come undone. And then I can glue this or paint this however I want, and then I'm just going to slide it right back in to this hole that I just created. So that's a really nice way to do that. And then you're going to do the same thing at the bottom. The bottom doesn't have the dowel caps on it, but I'm going to do the same exact thing. So I'm going to start this right here and roll. And this time I'm just going to put a line of hot glue at the edge of this dowel rod. So I'm going to keep it where it is. And I'm just doing, whoop, I almost put the dowel right into it. And then I'm holding the dowel in place. Hot. And I'm just folding my burlap over. Because even though you can't really see this dowel rod at the bottom, I want it to be whatever color I do the top. So I'm just gluing this down. I'm going to slide this out right now before it gets too stuck in there, which, oh, I may have glued it. Yep, we may be at lost cause on this one. Dang it. So I'm just going to keep pulling it. Let's see if I can figure out where it's glued. Oh, it's just right at the end. Whew! Better than the middle. Alright, so that is how you're going to do this part, and I'm just going to finish gluing it. But then you'll have this, and you'll have your dowel rods, and then this is where you can do the ribbon or twine at the top. Again, I don't know if I like the ribbon because I really suck at bows. I liked somebody posted in the group, and they just did twine. and I liked that, but there's a lot of different options you could do. A colored ribbon, you could do anything. And so I just am not sure yet where I'm going to put it, what it's going to match with. So that's, why I'm not moving forward on that yet. But this is the way to do it if you're unsure. Go ahead and just glue the holes. You see we have the 2 loops at the bottom. Mine's a little uneven with my placement. That's okay. But that is the burlap door hanger with the flocked HTV and the patterned HTV. Let me know if you have any questions. Be careful with, the glue and everything, that you don't hurt yourself. I know some people had issues with the pressure not being able to peel up like the patterned HTV. Normally that's just heat and pressure. So if you're using an iron, use a lot of pressure. You may have to do it for a longer time. But make sure you give it plenty of time and let it cool completely. So let me know if you have any questions. Please subscribe to my channel, and thank you so much for watching these videos.